Quickie review. Pokémon Sun and Moon. Ready, set, review. Okay, so this game is the best Pokemon game in years. Okay, so the formula is still basically the same. You pick your starter, you go beat Pokemon, you go ahead and catch everything you can find, you defeat an evil organization, you defeat the Elite Four, and you become the champion to become the best like no one ever was. But a lot is switched up this time around. First, this game is incredibly cinematic, with unique camera angles and beautiful cutscenes that complement the engaging and genuinely hilarious story perfectly. The locales, Pokemon, and characters all have excellent designs that adhere to the Hawaiian aesthetic really well, and the whole game has a diverse color palette that makes everything a delight to the eyes, and the music is on par with any other game in the series, which is to say, awesome. The story is hilarious when it wants to be, and legitimately sad when it needs to be. I've never been this invested in a Pokemon story before. Team Skull has to be my favorite evil organization to date, making me laugh my ass off multiple times during my playthrough. All your friends in this game are fun too. Lily is useless, but grows to become a great character, Hao is a fun rival, and Gladian is the dickhead rival we've all been wanting since Generation 2. The best part is that none of them are one note, and each of them have scenes that show depth. Now on to the gameplay, and there are so many great changes here, it'll be difficult to list them all. First, thank God, HMs have been completely removed from the game. Instead, you ride around on various Pokemon you come into contact with during your journey, and you can ride them in a surprising number of places, making travel a complete breeze. During battle, you can now see the stat changes both you and your opponent have undergone, as well as the effectiveness of your moves you have on your opponent. There are also new moves called Z-moves that can be used once per battle. Some Pokemon have moves specifically for them, but every type has at least one, so unlike Mega Evolutions, no one's left out here. These are really powerful, but not strong enough to completely break the game, just enough to add another layer of depth to battles. A Pokemon can also have its IVs raised through Hyper Training with Mr. Hyper, which is great for the competitive scene. Instead of gym leaders, you have to go through trials this time around, which consist of either defeating some wild Pokemon and then a supercharged totem Pokemon with increased stats, or a typical battle against the island champions and kahunas. Wild Pokemon can now also call for help from other Pokemon to join them in battle, which adds a new layer to the typical wild Pokemon fight, keeping it from getting too stale. The game is perfectly paced, with barely a moment to breathe between set pieces. Going from battle to battle, I never once had to grind by beating up wild Pokemon for experience, but I definitely faced a challenge or two along the way. It took me about 23 hours to become the champion, trying to get through this as fast as possible over the weekend for the review, and I haven't finished everything after that, but it's definitely more expansive than X and Y, with Ultra Beasts, Legendaries, and hidden collectibles. The only negatives I have with the game are nitpicks. The stat change screen is nice, but it would have been better if it had my Pokemon stats displayed as well, and not just the changes to the stats. The tutorials and cutscenes can border on invasive with hardly any time given to explore, but when a series is 7 generations in, it's totally understandable to need time to explain the mechanics to new players. The only major issue is slowdown. Even with the 3D being removed from battles for this game, the frame rate drops quite a bit and quite often. Still, none of that changes the fact that this is the best Pokemon game in years, showing a finesse of balancing old and new mechanics that I thought Game Freak had lost, and it's exactly what the franchise needed. Pokemon Sun and Moon gets 9.5 out of 10 and a proud spot on the MightyNifty must-play list. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Be sure to subscribe to see next week's Nifty recipe based on this game, and as always, have a mighty nifty day today.